Gosh darn it. Casey Cline,
What?
how's it going?
I'm pretty Gucci. How are you?
You're Gucci. Or are you Jared Leto? Oh, papa! Is that racist? I think it was a little bit.
Probably.
Is Jared Leto Italian?
I don't know.
Probably not. No, how's it going? How you doing?
I'm good.
We're talking about Evil Dead, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yes. So, first of all, I do want to get this understood. I want to know because it's unclear to me because I had one way of thinking things and apparently it's different. How were you introduced to Evil Dead?
You actually told me about it back in like the 5th grade.
I told you about it.
Yeah.
Go on. I thought you knew about it.
No. I mean, you're like telling me about Army of Darkness.
Mm-hmm.
About like Ash was in the Deadite pit. Then like the wise man gave his chainsaw.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first time I ever heard of it.
So that's the first time you heard of it. So how'd you watch it then?
It was on TV.
It was on TV?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a hard time trying to see the first, on TV, but I saw the first Evil Dead. I saw it way too young. I saw Army of Darkness. I was like, how old was I? I don't know how old I was. I was still playing with toys, action figures.
Well.
And me and my brother was playing with VHS tapes. But like we used to, like in the end, the first Spider-Man movie, when Goblin he's beating Spider-Man down, we would pretend like those VHS tapes were like brick walls, and we just throw the toys through the tapes and line them up like walls. And I looked at the back of the Spider-Man VHS and the Army of Darkness Director's Cut VHS, which the Director's Cut, the cover. Have you seen the cover of that?
What is it?
It is like it's supposedly Bruce Campbell, probably just a male actor because it's like buff, ripped, baby oiled, just ripped, and he's like looking up to the sky, shotgun in one hand.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and chainsaw in the other, and it's just an epic poster.
Yeah.
And behind both it said directed by Sam Raimi, and I was like, it blew my mind. First of all, the idea of wait. Movies are directed by people? I didn't understand that. I didn't understand, how I thought movies just,
people would just film them randomly?
Or people were acting in the television. Every time you put something in, a little band of people will act out a thing, and it just plays on your screen or something. But, so that first. And then looking at the cover of Spider-Man and the cover of Army of Darkness and thinking, how does the same person be involved with both of these?
Yeah.
And that just sort of opened my mind. That's how I got into that rabbit hole. So you saw it on TV?
Yeah. It was like Showtime, I think.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
fancy
pants. With the... Did Showtime have the naughty nighttime stuff? Or no, that was HBO.
I think every channel did that.
Every channel did. Wow. Lucky. Satellite television or something? I don't know. Back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day.
So you watched... So what order did you see them in then?
I saw actually 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. So you saw Army of Darkness first?
Yep.
And how did you see that?
On TV.
That was on TV. They did play that on TV.
They did Evil Dead 2. I saw that on TV also.
Evil Dead 2
aired on Turner Classic Movies or some shit.
Evil Dead 2 eluded me for so long because I couldn't find it. Like first so I had Evil Dead 1 on VHS. Mm-hmm. I had Army of Darkness Director's Cut on VHS. So I saw Army of Darkness first, and I saw Evil Dead 1. I was probably 8 years old. I was 8 years old because I remember telling John Seals. Do you remember John Seals?
Oh yeah.
I would tell him about it. He's like, Evil Dead doesn't exist. I'm like, no, it does exist. I saw this movie.
Wait, was he joking or was he being serious?
I don't know. He's like a poker. I used to be like, Justin, Superman's not real. Yeah, I know he's not real.
Oh,
F
yeah.
You. Yeah, F you. Yeah, John Seals, if you're out there. F you. No, I'm kidding.
I wonder what he's up to now.
Yeah, I don't know. But
anyway, you were 8 when you saw The Evil Dead?
yeah.
And you
Well,
saw
I
the
was 8 when I
too.
started The Evil Dead. I started it a couple times. I was a little too scared. But one time, I asked my dad, I was like, could you please finish the rest of the movie with me? I really want to watch it. I'm just really scared. And he did, and we watched it. And my brother, he was a little scared, but he caught glimpses of it too. My brother, he used to, back in the day, he used to just absorb things from me. Now I'll be like, oh, this actor. He's like, what are you talking about? It's like, what happened? Oh, but, so, Evil Dead 2 eluded me for a long time. A very long time. It took me probably, I was in middle school, probably, before I got to see Evil Dead 2. Mm-hmm. And that was on DVD. I found it at Walmart for $5.
Wow.
Yeah, finally. And then I watched it at my aunt's house. And she made us, singing, all the adults in my family would be like, you can't watch, you can't see this, or you can't, with the cursing. My parents didn't care. My parents didn't care, but everybody else did.
Yeah, for me, it was like, as long as there isn't nudity, you can watch it.
Yeah,
That's
pretty
much how
much.
it was when I was little.
Pretty much. And if it's brief nudity, that's fine too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and Evil Dead 2 is probably my favorite. What's your favorite of
The first one.
The first one?
Yeah.
Why?
So, the first time I watched it, it wasn't on TV or DVD or anything. It was, like, on YouTube. You know how, like, back in, like, 2009 when there was a 10-minute upload?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I would watch it, it would be, like, part 1 of 9.
Mm-hmm.
And it was, like, 360p.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, but, no, when I first watched it, it scared the shit out of me.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, the worst is probably Linda when she got possessed. It's because, like, she didn't have all that full-on Deadite makeup, but it was kind of, like, minimal, so I guess it was that uncanny valley.
Mm-hmm.
And, I could not sleep that night, but, no, it's like, it just scared the shit out of me. Like, I could not sleep because of Linda. But, no, I mean, like, just imagine it's the middle of the night, you wake up, it's like, it's wired, and then you see her in the doorframe, laughing.
Oh, just being like, the song,
Yeah,
we're gonna get you. That, I love that. That's Cheryl was my scary one. She scared me the most.
Oh, yeah.
Because, well, first of all, when I was younger, I did not understand the whole tree rape thing. I didn't realize, like, what it was doing. In hindsight, it's a little much. Because it's like it was shot out of a can. Yeah. And it was like, Jesus Christ. But then, like, she just does the most gross things and is she's the meanest, too.
Yeah.
And she's she's like, her makeup's just crazy to me.
Well, that's the part where she first gets possessed, and where she's, like, floating in the air.
Yeah. And
that spooked me.
I love how it starts, because, like, they're doing, like, Linda and the other girl, they're doing the cards, like, oh, what is it? Ace of clubs.
Oh, yeah.
And, like, she's just sort of messing with her.
Yeah, because they're all wrong.
Yeah, they're all wrong. She's like, oh, wow, yeah, you got it. And then Cheryl starts doing it, and they're all right.
Yeah.
And it's like,
And her voice gets, like, more and more, like...
Yeah, I'm like, 3 of clubs. And then... I love that. And she's like... and you know how they did that? How she was floating?
I forgot.
They have, like, a stick. She's, like, strapped to a stick.
Oh.
Like a long wooden board.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, and she stands in front of the window, and the window has, like, a black sheet over it. And there's 2 other guys behind the window, like, seesawing her up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're pushing down on the wooden block, and that's how she's floating, and she's like, and yeah, that's just pretty neat. They have a lot of crazy stuff like that.
Yeah, like, the practical effects were so good. Like, if they made this today, it wouldn't be good, because you cannot recreate half the shit they did in CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Like, at the end where they all decompose. It's just stop motion.
That part, what I love is, like, all this gore, it's very gross out. So, like, even if it doesn't necessarily make sense, like, they're spitting milk, or, like...
Oh, like cockroaches, but they're demons, so they just have...
and it's like there's a part during that decomposing scene where, like, out the arm, it's like some grits or something.
Oh yeah,
It's
like, I think it was coleslaw.
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, it's so nasty.
Actually, I just want to say more of the stop motion.
The stop motion?
Oh no, the part of me that like made me jump the most when I first watched it. It was when like Bruce, he goes into the room to check on Linda's leg. Then it just spider webs, and then she opens her eye like.
I love that part. Yeah, I was looking at that earlier. And it's so simple too, but and you can tell it took a little bit of time for only like not even 2 seconds, but it's like.
Oh yeah.
I love how they do that, and they also do that in the second one with his hand.
Yep.
I love that. Oh.
The first time was just the worst though, because like you just barely get enough time to react. Then
like what I just see, and now
it was just like it just came out of nowhere.
I also love seeing her get stabbed with that. I still like clench my butthole when I see when I see like first the sound, which I read Bruce Campbell's book, If Chins Could Kill: Confessions of a B-Movie Actor, and he has like these dioramas throughout the book of like little how they did certain gags, and he was talking about the Foley, the sound design.
Yeah.
The sound they used when they stuck the pencil in her ankle, they stuck in an apple.
Yeah, I heard
it's like,
that.
Tonk, and it's like, oh, and then
she moves it around.
she ripped. She's like, it's like really, I love that, and you see the ankle just stretching and bleeding, and I'm like, oh my god, get the pencil out of the ankle. God.
Yeah, it's just hard to watch.
Jesus, and that's funny though, because when it does do the branchy thing. I was thinking, oh, she got lead poisoning because of the stupid pencil. Yeah.
They ran out of graphite, though.
Oh, whatever. Same deal. But because one time in elementary school, someone stabbed me in the arm with a pencil. I could see a little piece of graphite, whatever, just stuck in my arm. And I'm like, God dang it. Don't mess with pencils. I guess it's kind of like a little tattoo, I guess, is why it wouldn't go away. Or maybe a piece of it broke and it's just stuck in there.
No, I think I once got actually stabbed myself in the hand with a pencil. And it actually left a mark for like 3 years.
Ugh.
Then it disappeared.
Yeah, you probably shed that skin, because, you change every 7 years. You just, over time, everything a little bit.
So you said that Evil Dead 2 was your favorite?
Evil Dead 2 is my favorite. And the Alright, so actually, you know what, I'm going to mention this now. Because I do have beef with the Blu-ray. The Blu-ray of Evil Dead 2 is actually one of my favorite, most best Blu-rays I ever owned ever. I still have it. It's over there because my horror movies are over there for watching later. The special features on that are amazing. Not only do you have like they brought back Bruce Campbell and some of the actors to talk now or whenever it was. It was like the 25th anniversary Blu-ray. So, they have reasons to get these people back and to have them talk for the special features and stuff. But Greg Nicotero made a whole behind-the-scenes just thing. Like, it's basically compiled together. It's like a documentary, behind-the-scenes documentary, not just of all the makeup stuff, but a whole lot of makeup stuff because he's a makeup guy, but just of the making of the movie and all the cool little gags, like how they got the hand to run across the floor by itself and all that stuff, which is like they had a guy underneath the floor, and they had a hand prosthetic on this, but they're underneath the floor, and they're just doing this, and that stuff is cool. Ted Raimi as Henrietta, in that big fat suit, and in the behind the scenes, you can see them plopping off gloves or feet and just pouring gallons of sweat out of the suit because he was sweating so bad. They tortured Ted Raimi is MVP. He's in all of them, but you don't see his face.
Nope. He's the unsung hero.
Yeah, for real. But how do you feel about Evil Dead 2?
I like it. The first is my favorite horror movie of all time. Probably my top 5 in general of all time. So like Evil Dead 2, it's because like the bar was so high by Evil Dead 1. It's like I liked it, but it's not as good.
Wow.
Oh, no, I think it's great, but it like pales in comparison to the first, I guess. It's a distant second.
What I like about Evil Dead 2 though is because, and have you ever seen House 2?
House 2.
Have you seen House 1?
Oh yeah, the Japanese movie where it's all weird?
No. It's like a sinking... But I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that house movie.
No.
This is something different?
No, it's an 80s American horror movie.
No, I haven't heard that.
Well, in House 1... This is brief. House 1, it's like a scary movie about this guy, I don't know, and there's one ghost and scary stuff, shenanigans, whatever. House 2 is about some crazy stuff. It's about if you smoke salvia, probably. No, but like, it's a comedy. It's more like, it's not really House 2, it's more like they had a comedy that took place in that house, they didn't know what to do with it, so they just called it House 2. There's horror not really, there's no horror elements. It's all, but it's bonkers. It's almost like a Gremlins 2. Or, the trend I'm getting at is, there's a lot of these sequels, horror sequels, because Gremlins 1 is way more of a horror movie than the second one, that they go from horror to horror comedy, or just straight out, flat out comedy. What I love about Evil Dead 2, though, is because there are some effective scares in Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
And I love how immediately after many of those scares, you're laughing really hard also, because what is going on? And there are moments where you don't get a chance to even breathe, because you're just seeing like, oh, some gross bloody thing, oh, now there's some sound, and actually, in fact, the sound design in all the Sam Raimi movies it's so specific and particular. Like, I don't know why or how he gets all these different sounds that are so individual. I'm tying it all right back. So the Evil Dead Blu-ray, what I have the beef with, the Blu-ray kind of perfects the sound a little too much. In the Evil Dead 2 DVD, when he first comes out, and when he does the groovy line, so he saws off the shotgun. In the DVD, he flips it around, whoosh, 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 and he puts it in his back. Groovy.
Yeah.
In the Blu-ray, it's less harsh. They bring it down to like a normal sound. I'm a little peeved by that, because I don't know, just like the Evil Dead 2 is just like, what if we did Evil Dead 1 but crazy?
Yeah.
And just go nuts. I just love it. I love it.
Then they just like got all the nutty shit of Evil Dead 2 and put that in Army of Darkness.
Well, and that's the one thing I don't like about Army of Darkness. I think I like the least. However, the concept I love the most, if that makes any sense. Like, I love the idea of it was a horror franchise. We're gonna pluck this horror hero, and now he's in a medieval adventure movie. Yeah. That's nobody does that. And not only that, Army of Darkness is the most expensive of the three. For why? Like, why would anybody? Why? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Like, why would someone just? Because neither of the first, like, they did okay, but they didn't do well in theaters. They both didn't, like. Evil Dead 1, I think, took 4 years or something to make its money back, and even then, they didn't really. They had no profit, essentially. They only got, like, credit to forward on, their careers. But yeah. How do you feel about Army of Darkness?
Army of Darkness, like, I like it slightly less than Evil Dead 2. But like I said, it's still a great movie.
It has the most iconic lines, and Army of Darkness, I think, has more reach than the first two Evil Dead movies. It's like, there are plenty of people who have only seen Army of Darkness and can quote it and have no idea that it's even part of the franchise. Yeah. One of the original names of Army of Darkness was Medieval Dead.
They should have went with that.
That would have been great, because then you understand, like, it sells itself. It says itself.
Why'd they change it?
Universal.
They thought it'd be, like, too confusing or something?
They didn't want people... So, like, for Sam Raimi and crew, they're making a sequel to Evil Dead. Universal didn't want to market it as a sequel to a franchise of 2 movies that didn't do well. Yeah. They wanted to make it its own thing, which is actually understandable, because except for the fact that it's Ash, it's not like the other 2 at all. Yeah. It still has the Sam Raimi-isms and all that, but they're applied in a different way. Like, there's only, like, 2... like there is a dead army, but they're not scary. There's skeletons. They're goofy.
Yeah.
No, there's only 2 scary monster fights or whatever, but they're very brief and they're not really.
Yeah.
And that's the only excuse they have to call it like an Evil Dead thing,
Yeah.
really, basically. Because he even ditches the chainsaw early in the movie.
Yeah.
Which is like, God dang it, that's the coolest part.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, you say you haven't seen Within the Woods?
No, I didn't see it. Well, I've seen bits and pieces.
Oh, okay.
But I do know Bruce Campbell changes into the monster instead of Cheryl.
And Cheryl is his girlfriend this time.
Oh, God.
Instead of sister.
Wow. I always thought it was weird how in the first Evil Dead, just the dynamics there. Mm-hmm. It's like, why is Cheryl there? Like, she's just the fifth wheel.
Yeah.
And you get the sense, like, Scotty and Ash, they're like, we're trying to, just go out with our girlfriends. Yeah. Like, maybe they just threw Cheryl down, like, their parents or whatever. Just like, just get Cheryl out of here.
Yeah.
Which is, it's actually even better. It adds to the horror in a sense because she doesn't have a significant other. All she has is her brother who is occupied with Linda.
Yeah, actually, just saying real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny because it makes out like she's gonna be the final girl.
Exactly.
She doesn't have a boyfriend. She's all quiet and boring.
Mm-hmm. And you're right.
But she's the first person to go.
You're right. I never even thought about that.
Really?
Yeah, for real. Because it's abnormal to have a male protagonist, like hero, the hero protagonist.
Yeah.
Like Ash is an outlier. It's very much usually like your Sydney from Scream.
Yeah.
Or what's her face? Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nancy from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
It's usually women, and then Ash, Bruce Campbell, which that's another thing. The fact that it's Bruce Campbell, and he's the final boy. Mm-hmm. It's like, wow. Careful with him. He'll scratch you. He'll bite you too.
Jeez.
He's
like licking my leg.
Yeah, they like licking legs and smelling feet.
And no offense, your cat is weird as shit.
These are my roommate's cats.
Your roommate's cats are weird as shit.
Whoa. Well, yeah. Well, this one's spiteful. The other one, I don't know. They probably smell your cat on your legs, and they're probably trying to lick its butthole off your. I don't know why I'm saying butthole too much. Anyway.
Within the Woods, but it did have some of the stuff that was in the Evil Deads. Mm-hmm. How when Scotty's girlfriend, bites her hand off. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bruce Campbell actually does that Within the Woods.
Oh, I remember that gag. That always grossed me out in Evil Dead.
Also, the other one, how in Evil Dead 1 at the end where he's fighting Cheryl, then Scotty sits up. Mm-hmm. That's actually happens at the end Within the Woods, and it's the final jump scare.
I do remember that shot. I did watch it. I probably skipped around it.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's hard to watch. And it sounds terrible, too.
Yeah.
So, and I tried to watch Sam Raimi's his other college film. What was it called? I can't remember. It was like a crime caper type deal that he made in college. And that one, I tried to watch it. And he's in it. But it sounds so bad. I don't know how all that's restorative stuff, especially if stuff from the 60s and 70s or whatever. That stuff amazes me. I don't know if you've seen Get Back on Disney Plus.
I haven't.
It's Peter Jackson's Beatles documentary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but it's not really a documentary. It's literally just you're watching the Beatles. It's archival footage, and you're watching the Beatles come up with all these songs from the movie, or from their final album, and it's live, and it's like you get to spend. It's a 4-hour long documentary, or no, it's a 6-hour long documentary. Every episode, it's 3 parts. It's 2 hours.
Oh well.
But it's crazy because you're watching a moment in time, but anyway, the point is the restoration process on both the film of that and the audio, just insane. It sounded like they were right there with 4K cameras looking at them. It just looked insane.
I'm trying to think what else felt Within the Woods. Like, it's actually like if they never made the Evil Dead after it, it would have been forgivable.
Yeah, well, they made Within the Woods to raise money.
Yeah.
Because, well, I don't even know how much they made Within the Woods for. It was probably very cheap.
Yeah.
But they made it, and they would take it around to, like, dentists, doctors, lawyers, just people who had money.
And they would just give it to everyone? Or sell it to everyone?
They only had one print.
Oh.
And that's probably another reason why it looks so garbage.
Yeah.
Because they had to play that print over and over and over again.
Yep.
So they had that one print, and they would just project. They would have to do little screenings for all these potential investors, and that's how they raised most of their money to make the first Evil Dead. And then that's why they didn't make any money, hardly, from the first Evil Dead, because they had to pay back all the investors. Yeah.
I think, though, it was like $375,000 to make the Evil Dead, I think.
The number changes often.
Yeah.
I know their original aim for the budget was $150,000, but they did definitely go over budget because it turned from that special feature you saw me watching.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell was talking about it went from what was supposed to be like a 6-week shoot to a 12-week shoot. So actually, if it was, because what you said was basically double, that would make sense because it was double the time it was taken.
Yeah. Not in like the production sense, but it's like the behind the scenes stuff sense.
And the big thing that got, I think the theatrical run of the first Evil Dead was technically over 4 years. Well, yeah, because I said it took 4 years for them to make the money back because they didn't have home video back then. I don't think.
Yeah.
Or so, I doubt.
I never thought of that.
Yeah. And what got them the biggest push, though, was Stephen King. Because Stephen King had wrote a review saying, "Oh, this was one of the scariest movies I've seen." And they posted that on the poster. Mm-hmm. And that's what got a lot of people watching it.
Yep. I just thought the posters were funny. Because, like, the first two are so misleading.
The
first one is, like, this girl, like, getting dragged up from above. You think it's a zombie movie or something.
Mm-hmm.
The second one is just this generic-ass picture of a skull.
A skull
like, eyes in it
with
looking
eyes.
at you.
Yeah.
What's that even mean?
I know, that didn't make sense to me. I was just like, why are there eyes in the skull?
And it's like they just looked up spooky images on Google and just took the first one that showed up.
Oh, but it was, I love... Oh, and they're making Evil Dead Rise, a new Evil Dead movie, which I'm not trying to skip over. We don't have to talk about the remakes and all that, but they're making a new one. And the posters for that are pretty cool. I would pull it up, but my computer's garbage.
Yeah.
But, like... But the one poster I just saw today when I was looking it up, it's like that skull one, but it's like this, like a more demonic looking skull, and it's like a side profile, and it's looking down, and there's like city skyscrapers like built into the skull. I think I'm excited because Sam Raimi has been pumping up Evil Dead Rise. Yeah. It's a new Evil Dead movie. How'd you feel? And this is tangent. But how did you feel about the remake of Evil Dead? Did you like it?
Yeah, it's way, way better than I expected. I thought it was going to be awful for obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
No, I watched it. I was surprised.
I like
how they actually like acknowledged the first one. Mm-hmm. Kind of like when he tries to burn the book and it's not working. Because in the original, he burns the book and...
Yeah, he's like, this darn book doesn't burn.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a really cool throwback.
I love how... Because just like how the OG Evil Dead did in essence by doing like a switcheroo of who the protagonist might be.
Yeah.
This does also almost like twice over.
Ways.
Yeah.
Because you can tell at the end, like they were trying to like play it up like that was gonna be the new ass because he's wearing a blue denim jacket. And everything.
He's experiencing all this horror. His sister's in the sinking basement. Mm-hmm. And I love that. What I love most about the movie is the blonde guy, the guy who read the book and did this all. Yeah. He gets tortured throughout that whole movie. Like, my favorite part is when he's walking in. I think it's his girlfriend. She's cutting her face off. Or maybe it's not his girlfriend. They're just friends. It doesn't matter. She's cutting her face off. And first of all, I love that because you just hear... And then he's looking and he's like, why'd you do that? Why'd you cut off your face? And she has like a needle, and she starts stabbing him with it, and stabs him in the eye.
Oh yeah, yep, I remember that.
And then you have to watch him pull the needle out. And I wanted to see how they did it, and it's simple. They just glued the end of not a real needle, like whatever. Yeah. And they glued it to his eye, and then he just slowly slipped his fingers up.
Oh.
But it's still tugging on his eye, so it looks like it's pulling out.
Oh, that's
So it's a clever switchheroo.
I actually haven't seen the movie since it came out, so I forgot a lot about it.
How dare you? It's a good movie. I love it. And yeah, I love it. And they also, just to talk about how much they abuse this guy, they beat him with a crowbar, and then they shoot him with a nail gun. And then he blows up. And then he's dead. It's interesting how Sam Raimi went from those to the Spider-Man movies. Well, actually, have you seen Darkman?
I know what it is. Haven't seen it though.
Darkman, I think, needs to have like a renaissance or something, because it's like, so when Sam Raimi, he was trying to make Batman, 1989 Batman. I guess he didn't have enough clout at the time. And went to Tim Burton, and he was a little like, oh man, I'm mad. So he made his own superhero called Darkman, and he just made it. It's about Liam Neeson, and he has to, like, sciencey stuff happens. He gets blowed up. He looks ugly, and he has fake skin, synthetic skin. It works only for 90 minutes in daylight, but at night it's, it lasts forever, or, in the dark it lasts. That's why he's Darkman. He goes out at night. And he takes out the criminal underworld at night by just pretending to be different crime bosses and messing up their whole operations. It's really good. It's so good.
Remember the game Evil Dead Regeneration?
Yes.
You played that, right?
Yes. I love all the Evil Dead games, except for the newest, which, since it's spooky season, I might buy the newest one.
Oh, really?
Because I
haven't
excited.
played it yet.
Me neither, but it looks cool, and the concept is cool. But what about Evil Dead Regeneration?
I fucking love Evil Dead Regeneration.
I love it. I love Fistful of Boomstick more.
Yeah, I played like the first hour or so of it.
That's the first game I ever beat.
Really?
Yeah, and it's a fun game. But both of them, what I love is how they have different attachments for his arm.
Yeah.
I just love that idea.
They do that in Regeneration. Like, you can have, like, a pistol, a shotgun, and something else.
Like a harpoon gun. And you could, like...
Yeah, and instead of the chainsaw, you can have a flamethrower. Like I think that was harpoon.
Yeah. Oh.
It's cool as shit.
And you can turn to, like, a demon mode.
Yeah, and you can, like, do combos with the enemies.
Yeah,
like
you can...
shooting them while they're in the air.
Yeah, you can just keep shooting them up further and further. I love that stuff. I love it. I
haven't played, like, the original PS1 game, though.
Yeah, me neither.
I heard it was shit, though.
Yeah, but I like the... I think it actually... But well, I don't know. I think it takes... It's canon, or not canon, but it takes place right after one of the movies, I don't remember. But, like, Fistful of Boomstick and that Evil Dead 1 game are technically still, like... I think they're in universe if Army of Darkness never happened, maybe. And then... Regeneration is just like Evil Dead 2 happened, that's it.
Yeah, like,
and then go.
Like instead of like going through a portal, he just gets arrested.
Yeah, and goes to an asylum.
Yeah.
I love that concept too. I love they need to put if they were real at the Marvel Universe, at Marvel Studios, they would put Ash in like a stinking Marvel vs. Zombies. Yeah. Like they did that in a comic book, and it was such a fun time because Ash is just bumbling around the Marvel Universe, killing he's like runs into Daredevil, and Daredevil he's zombified and stuff, and like the Marvel zombies they can still talk and stuff, so he's like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Blah, blah, blah. He's like, "Well, F you," and he like cuts them in half, and he's like, "You're just blatantly killing all these."
You're talking about if Evil Dead was MCU. Honestly, I think it would kind of be the same because Bruce Campbell, he always does quips, and that's all they do in Marvel.
That's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say there. I was gonna joke that, like in the Army of Darkness, Ash would be like, "We got company." Then I realized that he actually says stuff like that.
He does say stuff like, I love Ash's just ridiculous lines.
Yeah. There's something Jack and the only two people care is Jack and shit, and Jack left town.
Yeah,
it was something like that.
Or I love listen, like I'm trying to remember. Like it's like something like, "All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
This is my boomstick."
Yeah.
I also like when Lake first gets possessed. At first, old lady's like, "Yo, she bitch."
Yeah. Did you watch any of the show?
I've actually seen the first 3 episodes of Ash vs. Evil Dead. I have not seen the rest. I should.
Look, first season's good. Second season, the premiere of the second season had me screaming. It is funny. It is scary. Like, Ash vs. Evil Dead, at some points, at first, I was like, I don't know. I don't know. But, like, the finale of season 1 is actually genuinely thrilling, scary, cool, awesome. There are a couple filler episodes throughout the thing, but they're all short, which is one good thing. Like, every season total is like 5 hours. Mm-hmm. Which, to think, back then, I was like, man, I wish they would have an Evil Dead 4. Mm-hmm. And now there is Ash vs. Evil Dead, which is essentially like 3 seasons of Evil Dead 4, basically. And they do take advantage. They take advantage of it. They really do just about anything you could have wanted, except, can I spoil the ending of the show?
I don't care.
Okay. So you know how... Do you know the director's cut ending of Army of Darkness?
Oh, yeah, where he wakes up and it's the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
So at the end of Ash vs. Evil Dead, he has to fight this giant monster. He goes up, and he's, like, holding the monster's mouth open, like it's a giant monster.
Oh, really?
He's holding the monster's mouth open. I could be making this up. And he's, like, shooting into his mouth or something. I could be making this up. He's fighting the monster. I just don't remember how he was fighting it. But I think But anyway, cuts to black. You don't know what happened. Wakes up into the future. Wow. And he wakes up.
All that shit was a dream after all the darkness?
No. So this is what happened. He was dragged out of that fight. Frozen, taken through a portal, I don't know. This woman comes out, she's in like a futuristic garb, she's like, look, we gotta fix this mess you've made. And then he's like, okay. And they take the classic car, the Delta, and they Mad Max it up.
Really?
Yeah. And he's like, it does like one of those like groovy montages where it's like zooming in, but it's on the car. It's like, and it has like these cool Mad Maxy things, like flames coming out the thing, and Charon in his eyes through the rearview mirror, and it's like groovy. And he drives off into the desert wasteland.
And that's the end?
That's the end!
It's actually pretty badass.
It's awesome! And I think because they kept saying, hey, look, if we don't get a season 4, that's it. They knew they weren't going to get a season 4. They knew they weren't, so they were like, let's just end it where we wanted to end it with the director's cut of Army of Darkness. In the stinking future, going just Ash in the future. Yeah. Which... I don't even think he's never going to play him again, or at least not in physically.
Like a leading role.
Yeah, not in a leading role. I don't think physically. Like he's only going to. He did the Evil Dead game. I think he might do an animated thing.
Really?
I think people. He said.
What makes you say that?
Well, because he did Evil Dead the game, and also he just said he's basically just too old to be doing this.
Yeah.
But if they did like something animated, maybe he would come back and just do his voice, because he likes doing voiceover. Yeah. He's done it a lot. Which I would love for him to do that. I would love to see like a Mad Max Evil Dead.
Oh yeah,
that would be epic. God dang it! But I think both of those, maybe more so in the show, is just to symbolize Ash. And then Ash went and did this forever, and you can take that as a good way or a bad way, whatever. It's his life. So yeah, but it's pretty fun. Like there's this other show on stupid Amazon or something called Stan vs. Evil. I don't know if you've heard.
I've heard of it.
If you do like it, I'm sorry I called it stupid. But Stan vs. Evil is like a cheap version of Ash vs. Evil Dead. Ash vs. Evil Dead is not necessarily an expensive version of Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's fun. It's good. It's just I don't know. It's TV for sure. It's like made for TV, which it's good and bad. It lends to it sometimes. Sometimes it is a little shortcome by it, but ultimately it's good.
Oh yeah, I'm a fucking Ted Raimi.
Ted Raimi.
Because what was his name in Regeneration?
Oh yeah, what was his name?
Oh, Sam.
Sam. Yeah. Ironically enough, yeah. And you could kick him.
Mm-hmm.
You could punt him across a way.
Yeah. And
then they always have to go. They either went in or out of some demon's butthole all the time, like between levels.
Yeah, I think I remember.
Yeah, like they're always being farted out of something.
But no, I was saying about Ted Raimi. Like how Ted Raimi, he was the only guy who's waving at the car in the beginning with Sam.
No, that was Sam Raimi.
Yeah, it was Sam and his brother Ted.
No, I thought it was Sam.
No, there's like two guys walking.
I thought it was Sam and Rob Tappert.
I don't know. It's one of them.
Because on those tapes, when they play from Professor Nobi, he goes, Sama and Raba cross the road.
Really?
Yeah, basically. He just says Sam and Rob across the road.
Wow.
Or Sam and Rob were the bums on the road, but all, mumbo-jumboed up. That's why I think it's Rob Tappert.
Oh, okay.
I think I got that from one of the commentaries. I've watched it. That countless times. I mean, you have too, probably, yeah. But just all the Evil Dead. I love Evil Dead.
Yeah, so I said, yeah, like that is my favorite horror movie of all time. That's because just like how much it scared me when I was little. Horror movies don't really scare me anymore.
And it's a better horror franchise too.
Yeah.
There's not really a bad one in the bunch so far. Knock on stuff.
Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, hopefully Evil Dead Rise is good. Sam Raimi says it's real.
Wait, is Sam Raimi making it?
No, he's not directing it. It's some other kid that they're.
Is it going to be good though? Yeah, that's what I'm afraid.
Well,
of.
so here's the thing. Sam Raimi said it's genuinely scary, really cool, and originally it was going to be just a HBO Max release, straight to HBO Max, but it's been delayed and switched to theatrical release in April, which I don't love April as a time for a horror movie, but the fact that they switch it from straight to streaming to theatrical shows some promise.
So, yeah, it shows that they're serious about it.
Yeah, that they like it. They probably at least like it. Let's see if the audiences will go see it. Probably not, because they never do. They never do. I don't even think the last Evil Dead movie did that well. It did okay, but I don't think it did bonkers like they would have hoped.
I mean, the show Ash vs. Evil Dead, that was pretty popular, though.
It was, well, like I said, by the end, Bruce Campbell, he blamed people. He blamed it being canceled not because people weren't watching it, but because people were illegally downloading it.
Oh, really? I'm probably guilty of that.
Probably also Sam.
Yeah.
No, most definitely Sam.
Yeah.
Now it's on Netflix, though. I watch it all the time. Plenty.
Okay.
But, because Showtime, we want each other. It was Stars. It's on Stars. Which Stars actually is pretty good. Now, they have a couple good things.
Okay.
Like Ash Evil Dead. Also, Blind Spotting. I don't know if you've seen that movie or the show.
Oh, what's that?
Show. It's like Friday, but now is the best way to describe it. It's like a now Friday. It's like almost if Friday and Clerks had a baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and now in California somewhere. I forget the city, but it's really good. It's one of my favorite movies I've seen in the last few years. It's just great. And the show, the show is like obviously cheaper, same writers, but they really stretch the limits of their budget and how to communicate things through different artistic expression in the show. It's actually really good and neat. I don't want to say too much. Like they have there's moments where they have interpretive dancers, like the sort of folks you would see on America's Got Talent who could do those crazy different bends and stuff. But they will there's this part where this woman is just thinking of the past, and it goes from her head, and this is all one shot for the most part. It made it look like one shot. You see the dancer take his fingertips from her head, wiggle his body through, and then him and another dancer start walking through the rooms of the house and then acting out different scenarios that she's remembering, and you're just sort of taking it in, and it is good. You need to watch. Blind Spotting is one of the best pieces of entertainment art I've seen in a long time. They know how to talk. I'm sorry as a turn to this little rant, but they learn how to make some complicated topics easily communicatable and understandable. Yeah, I love it. I love that show and movie. Both. I was scared about the show because I really love the movie, but some of the bits in the show are even better.
Blind Spotting?
Yeah. It's on Stars. You can find it other places, I'm sure. What else? But I digress. So, I made you watch something today, didn't I?
Yep. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Of maggots, F you.
I said madness.
Yeah, huh? What'd you think of it?
Oh, it was great.
It was great.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah, it's like it just had a lot of Sam Raimi-ism.
It's so Sam Raimi. It's
Yeah.
Sam Raimi, the movie. And you saw what I was talking about, like, it's especially the beginning. It's literally like we're taking train stops of Sam Raimi movies. Like, here's a little Spider-Man 2. Like, starts out with Spider-Man 2. Yeah. Then
some Evil Dead stuff.
Yeah, like Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2. Boom, 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 boom. And even, like, there's that part when Strange sees Mordo, his friend from the other universe, and it closes in on their eyes like a Western almost. Yeah. Almost like Quick and the Dead. Mm-hmm. Well, I went to see it in theaters, and you're going to hear me say a lot of things I said while we were watching the movie. All right. But when I went to see it in theaters, I was expecting Cameo City. I was expecting to see Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider. Hugh Jackman came back as Wolverine again for a stupid cameo, probably, which he did come back ultimately, but that's different. I'm actually excited for Deadpool 3, but regardless. I thought it was going to be that. Cameo City, boring Marvel shill, which I'm not... I hate that I just said that because that makes me sound like I was one of those people. I'm not one of those people. I'm a Marvel apologist, but also I was skeptical that it was going to be good. I was going to be scared that they were going to butcher my boy, Sam Raimi. But they didn't. They actually said, here, you know what? Just do these few things. Everything else, go at it.
I was saying before during the movie, like, I just wish they would just let them go all out and just go R rating.
Yeah. But
I mean, it's an MCU movie, so...
But also, he doesn't necessarily even need an R rating. Did you see Drag Me to Hell?
Oh, yeah. That was PG-13.
That's only PG-13. And... like, they do some gross stuff in that movie. That, first of all, the nosebleed, the monster nosebleed, that's gross. Mm-hmm. And also when they're spitting, like, those mealworms into her mouth. Gross. Or when the grandma is gumming her mouth with her gum mouth. Nasty. Yeah. And this, like, I never would, if you told me Drag Me to Hell was PG-13, I wouldn't have believed it. Yeah. But it's PG-13.
Somehow. Also, I like the ending. Mm-hmm. Oh, she actually does get dragged to hell.
I love that part.
Yeah, like, that's not something that would PG-13.
Exactly.
Like, I don't even know what... like, does he know something that, like, the ratings board doesn't want anyone else to know?
Well, one thing, I do know if you change the color, which, in this case, it was real blood, but since it was a nosebleed, probably it wasn't, like, a big deal. Yeah. If it was, like, she cut off her nose and then she bled like that, then R. Yeah, that would have been R immediately. Since it's just a normal nosebleed, just exaggerated, maybe that's why. Also, I think the thing is, you just can't show human blood that crazy. Which there's not a lot of blood in that movie. A lot of the... let me make sure this is on. Alright, good. A lot of the cool gags in Drag Me to Hell are very much like she's in the kitchen and those black shadows are just coming in and wrestling her around, messing with her, pulling her around. Not a lot of blood. Like, there are good, effective scares in that movie, but I don't know. I guess just because there's not, like, gore, and they don't curse that much in the movie either. No. And Justin Long, I love how the end of the movie works with Justin Long, because...
he has the token thing now.
And he's like, here, you give me this thing. Yeah. Oh, wait, no? What? And I love it. And the final shot isn't just of her being dragged to hell. It's his reaction. Yeah. Of being like,
holding the token.
He's like scared. And he's looking at his hand like, what did this do? Yeah. And his girlfriend's just in hell. Goodbye. Yep. I love how... and that movie is just some weird, crazy, cool stuff. Yeah. I love the beginning where it's like... it starts off in Mexico with the woman. Yeah, with the kid. Like, yeah, and it's like a woman, magic person or whatever. And she's, like, trying to help the kid, and the kid gets dragged to hell. Yep. And then she's like, we will meet again. Yes, or see. And then, you know, they come back later. And the weird goat, the crazy laughing goat, in that one part. And there was one demon dancing around at one point. Do you remember that part?
I actually haven't seen the movie in a long time.
I hadn't seen it. I tried to watch it a couple months, like, right after I watched Doctor Strange. I tried to watch it again. But my grandpa, he's got problems now, so he lives with my aunt. He's just, like, bedridden. I was trying to watch Drag Me to Hell, because he likes horror movies, I thought. But my mom, she was there taking care of him. She was like, don't put that on, it's too scary. Wow. I was like, oh, whatever. It's not, I mean, it is a little scary. But But yeah, Doctor Strange.
I also like the ring stuff they did in Multiverse of Madness. Like when he kills those superheroes. Like, what was the one's name where he would yell?
Black Bolt.
Yeah, and like he raises his mouth and his head explodes.
So yeah, that's another instance. Because like, first of all, first you have Scarlet Witch. She's covered in like oil. That's one thing before that scene. So it looks like she's covered in blood, but it's actually oil from those robots that she massacred. Yeah. So that's one way you get away with it. Black Bolt, when there is blood that comes out of his nose, but I wonder if that blood was red, because he is an alien, so it could have been not red.
Maybe.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think of ways he could have skirted it. And when his head does explode, even though that's what I love most.
Yeah, like it just doesn't like explode from like the outside, just
and it's implied brains.
Yep.
Like you don't see the brains, but you know those are mushed up brains right there.
Yeah.
And Mr. Fantastic, what I love with Mr. Fantastic, how they kill him, she shreds him up, but when it gets to his head, the Scarlet Witch light magic, which is red, spurts out when it gets to his head, but it almost looks like if you like weren't quite paying attention, that his head exploded like blood. Yeah. And and I think actually because of her red magic, that probably helps a lot with some of this stuff. And with Xavier, it looks like she snaps his neck. She tears his head off, but you can't see because of all the smoke.
Yeah.
But that's why when he comes out, his eyes are bleeding because his head's like it's probably just mush somewhere in his neck skin.
Wasn't there that other girl? She like gets cut in half.
Yeah, she cuts Captain Carter in half too with a shield.
Yeah.
With her own shield. Yes. Oh,
that's what I was thinking of.
So gruesome. And there's parts where she'll torture like these random magic lackey guys, or she completely dusts, like not even dust, just you were there and now you don't exist anymore to some people. And just I love Multiverse of Madness gets such. First of all, it's divided. And I hate how divided it is because it shouldn't be. Multiverse of Madness should have been the most exciting movie of the summer or whatever.
Because like you're saying, there's like all those like normie MCU fans, and it's like, oh, it's so and so doesn't survive. This sucks.
And they just went
like they'll be mad that Black Bolt's dead, though they probably didn't even know who he was before.
Yeah. The only one they could be a little upset about is maybe John Krasinski, but I did not want John Krasinski to be Mr. Fantastic. And if they do a new Mr. Fantastic, it's not going to be him. It's not going to be him.
It'd be hilarious if like they just never do the Fantastic Four and like he's actually dead that way.
That would be hilarious. They are doing the Fantastic Four, is confirmed.
Yeah, and also like they'll probably just bring him back in a portal.
Yeah. But I'm hoping. I actually kind of want, because everybody wanted John Krasinski. I want. Let's get some different colors in here. Let's make, so in, and this is, I'm a Marvel nerd out of a second. In Loki, they introduced the next big bad for the Marvel Universe. The next Thanos, so to speak. His name's Kang the Conqueror. He's played by Jonathan Majors. And he's black.
Cool.
But there's the thing though, that character is a great 3,000 year greats grandson of Reed Richards. So, I mean, surely somebody in those 3,000 years could have got just with some black people and they could have stayed. Or Reed Richards could be black, which I would like to see, personally. Or, I don't know. One of my favorite, the guy from Slumdog Millionaire?
Yeah, Dev Patel.
Yeah, Dev Patel. That was one of my favorite names that were jumping around for a minute. Just because his head shape looks very Mr. Fantastic-y. Just throw some grays into his sideburns. But yeah, I'm glad they killed him. I love that they gave the stinking nerds what they wanted.
Yeah,
and then
like they gave him like a prominent screen time.
Yeah, they're like, here, look at it, and then just ripped it to shreds. And goodbye.
Yeah, it's like they're just mad because it actually took risks. It's not just that same low stakes thing where like each movie is a trailer for the next.
For real, that's all and I was scared it was going to be a trailer for the next movie or the next big thing, but no, it's just goofy looking wizard going through the dark arts trying to get away. That's epic. Oh, And one of my favorite scenes, and it was one of the cooler scenes to see in 3D, was that the crossfade sequence.
Oh yeah,
that was epic, especially because like you could saw these like the depth was awesome, and it felt like it felt like what you ever hear of the show Charmed way back in the day?
I've heard of it. I think
it's about like these three witches. And
I know. What that is.
It's like CW and stuff. Well, before CW was a thing, but just the tone of that almost in essence is like how that sequence sort of felt. It was like witchy, very like it just makes me think of like a '90s midriff, just for some reason, just like midriff eyeliner and like candles, like you know, smoky, like.
And that's what it reminds you of.
Yeah, it just I just love how crazy. Like you wouldn't think any of this would be in a Marvel movie.
Oh, also like the Evil Dead 2 callback where like she puts her hand in the mirror and it's just water.
Yes, I love when that happened. It was that moment specifically where I knew, okay, so this is going to be a good movie. And not just that, but even literally right after that when they're doing like the whole like the zooms where they're looking around the room and it's like distorting the camera and like just like in Evil Dead 2 they're like I love how this is audio medium. They can't hear me moving my head around trying to animate these sequences, but yeah, I just love it. Yeah, what? And it's just so Sam Raimi and so goofy, but awesome though. It's like I don't know.
Wait, how many times have you seen it by now?
By now, probably 4 or 5.
Okay, and you were still flipping shit whenever Sam Raimi stuff happened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I love it. It's so good. Every time I watch, like most Marvel movies, I'll usually end up watching twice, especially if I don't want because it used to be just be a family thing. I would watch it my my dad and my brother, but these days I'll watch it for sure once and then watch it again when I go home anytime. I've gone back just for fun watching Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness and just watched it, just had it on. I don't do that with anything anymore. Usually I'm like always watching something new or just get like just something, usually just something new or something I'm showing my roommates for the first time that I haven't seen in a while.
So where would you rank, so is this like one of your favorite movies of all time?
Multiverse of Madness?
Yes, and that.
No, it's not my favorite movie.
That's your favorite MCU movies?
For sure, one of the favorite MCU movies. Favorite movies of all time? I don't know. Not really. And the only reason I say I don't know is because I think I would consider Spider-Man 2. And I bounce around between Spider-Man 2 and Evil Dead 2 for being in my top 10. And I think I only say Spider-Man 2 because Spider-Man 2 does have that Doc Ock sequence, which shows the horror chops, and then everything else about it, I think Sam Raimi literally it's the culmination of his skills, I think, is Spider-Man 2. Like, you see, like, literally, just the culmination of his skills, because you see bits of Quick and the Dead, and Darkman, and For Love of the Game, and you see that Kevin Costner baseball movie he directed?
I've heard of it.
It's okay. He's using every single one of them on this, probably one of the most expensive sequels at the time, and like everything in Spider-Man 2 is his fault. Is the thing, and that's why I think I lean closer to Spider-Man 2 for being his best movie, like just best movie. Like obviously I love the Evil Dead stuff. Like when people say like with Kevin Smith, you know, a lot of stress goes on the first movie they made because they made it when they had nothing. And I respect that for sure, but I also love seeing the escalation of their skills. How are they improving and where are they really just blasting on all borders. Now, what I love about Multiverse of Madness is it's him telling the world, I can still do all of this. It's up to you to let me do it, essentially. And he does it. And where I say like Spider-Man 2 is like a culmination of all the skills, I mean like all the skills are all doing the same thing at the same time. with Multiverse of Madness, it's him showing one by one. Hey, look at this. I can do this. Hey, look at this. I can still do this. And I both like and dislike that. And I don't dislike it, but it could be more like a Spider-Man 2 where he's showing everything and they're all doing the same thing. But I do like how he is showing individually everything he can do, just to be like, I can do anything. I can do anything you want me to do. And he's showing how he could do it. And I just love that.
Yeah, but Sam Raimi, he's a goat.
Yes. I think he's severely underrated. Like, pretty badly underrated. Like, there are some people, like YouTube film discourse, yeah. People are starting to talk about Sam Raimi more. Mm-hmm. But they should have been talking about him just forever. Like, yeah. Spider-Man, the fact that Spider-Man alone, which Evil Dead I think alone, but even that is more, niche. Spider-Man alone should have shot him up. And in some ways it did, but I think with Spider-Man 3 and the studio interference, like, how are you going to do Spider-Man 1, make the studio a lot of money, and they say, okay, do whatever you want. Spider-Man 2, go ahead. Let him do whatever he wants, and it's amazing. And then say, do Spider-Man 3, but we're going to tell you how to do everything, and we really need you to do Venom. We need you to have like 50 villains in here. We need you to do this, and just shackle him like that. Mm-hmm. If they didn't do that and they let him do whatever he wanted, and Spider-Man 3 was like like I said, like the escalation of skill. Yeah. He probably would be considered like he probably would be up there with like Steven Spielberg even. I would think. I think he would have worked a lot more after that also.
Here's the thing, like, unfortunately, like, a lot of people, they still think Sam Raimi was like, oh, isn't he the guy who did Spider-Man? Mm. And they don't know, like, any other stuff he's done. So they just think he sucks.
And I love his career. Like, even though Evil Dead and first of all, Evil Dead and Spider-Man are his two most famous franchise movies. Just looking at those alone, separately, is like, what? But like I was mentioning before, with Quick and the Dead, For Love of the Game, a Western movie, a baseball movie. Yeah. Like, he's trying to show, and there's a couple other movies I still haven't seen, like, dang it, what's it called? I can't remember. There's a movie called The Gift, and there's another movie with Billy Bob Thornton. I can't remember. I forget. But it's like a bank robbery movie. He's trying to do different things, trying to see what genre he lies best in. Mm-hmm. And then when he tried to make a superhero movie and they told him no, he made Darkman, and then he got Spider-Man later on. Mm-hmm. He can do all these things. He just, he's shown that he has the skill to do anything he wants to do. And I hope that he is getting some of that, some of that say back, like more, what's the word? I don't know. Just I want people throwing projects at him, like, please do my movie. Yeah. I hope that's the case. Because he tried to do a lot of things, like, Drag Me to Hell, that came out not long after Spider-Man 4 got canceled. Spider-Man 4 got canceled, he was really beat up about it, and it's ironic, because Drag Me to Hell is released by Sony, and I don't know how he feels about that. But Drag Me to Hell was basically being like, I almost feel like it was like him just like letting the demon out for a minute, just really just trying to get everything out, just air it out, rage, his way of raging, which is just make the craziest movie he could with it's a basic concept, but it's just really, it's similar to Doctor Strange in the sense of him saying, look at all the things I could do. Mm-hmm. And then he makes Oz Great and Powerful after that, which, bleh. I think that was literally, I hate when people say, oh, that's probably just a cash grab movie, like a movie just, or a paycheck. Mm-hmm. That's probably genuinely, I think he literally was like, I'm going to make this movie, and I'm going to walk myself away for a long time. And I think I just feel like that's what he did.
Oh, and that was like the 2010s, right?
Yeah.
It's like everything was either some shitty, forgettable remake or some reboot of like decades-old thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And like Oz Great and Powerful was just in that.
Yeah, it follows in line with that. And that's why I love, because how he got Doctor Strange was because Kevin Feige, Kevin Feige, you know who he is, right? Yeah, because he's like super producer who did all this, like he made Marvel Universe from the ground up, which people don't respect enough these days. I mean, I say that, that's not true. people respect it. Just people also make fun of it. Because, it's like people making fun of James Cameron, which I'll make fun of James Cameron. No, I won't. I like James Cameron, but Avatar was okay. But, so yeah, Kevin Feige, he worked on the first Spider-Man and X-Men, the early 2000s Marvel movies. But he was like a low-level producer. Like, probably like a step above an associate producer or whatever. So he didn't have any power back then. None. And only because he worked on Spider-Man and just liked Sam Raimi is the only fathomable reason that he got to direct Multiverse of Madness at all. And I'm just glad. I'm glad that Kevin Feige was like, here, Sam Raimi, I'm going to show them you can still do stuff. And let him do it.
Yeah.
And he's the only producer right now, probably not the only, but one of the few who has the power to just bring people out of the woodwork like that. I just appreciate it. I love... Because I can't stress this enough. I've said it a lot. I know I've been talking a lot. But I did not think I was going to see a Sam Raimi movie when I saw that movie. And it was. So, yeah.
You just thought it was going to be all, like, watered down, MCU-ified?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be watered down. I thought it was going to be something more akin to... Iron Man 2, which I like Iron Man 2, but like Easter eggs, and you sort of just watch it for the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2, Thor 2, Captain Marvel, also, the first Doctor Strange, also kinda. Ant-Man 2, also, but I like Ant-Man 2, etc. and so forth.
I haven't seen Ant-Man 2, but I love the first one.
First one is infinitely rewatchable. Like, yeah. I've watched that. I can watch that any day, and it's pretty. It's a tight movie. Mm-hmm. I think they were really making sure not to mess that up, because that was when Edgar Wright quit. Remember, it was supposed to be directed by, or maybe you don't. I don't know. It was supposed to be directed by Edgar Wright, and honestly, Edgar Wright Ant-Man still. I wish they could just be like, oh, we're sorry here, or give him more money, because I've watched that in 3 seconds. But they really did make a good movie, even though with all the odds were against it. Paul Rudd had to sink in, help rewrite the script because they had to change it enough to not be Edgar Wright's script, but still keep the story beats, because it was like 3 weeks before they had to start filming the movie.
Yeah,
and they had to find a quick director. And Peyton Reed, he directed Yes Man before.
Yeah,
I feel bad for him too, because he had to go to Comic-Con. And everybody knew Edgar Wright left, and it was not a good breaking up of that.
Oh, yeah.
And so they call our new director of Ant-Man, Peyton Reed. You can hear boos from the crowd. Boo! But what sucks is Peyton Reed, he likes Ant-Man. He was like, hey, look, and he shows a picture of like his old high school band, and it's like an Avengers cover, but the bandmates as the Avengers, and he was Ant-Man in the picture. So he's like, I know you didn't want. I'm not cool. Edgar Wright. Yeah, exactly. He's like, I like it. And Peyton, and right now, the Fantastic Four movie is the director. Oh wait, no, it has a director now. God dang it, Matt Shakman. He was going to direct Star Trek 4 of the J.J. Abrams universe.
Yeah.
But he left that to do Fantastic Four, and I'm a little sad about that, because Peyton Reed of Ant-Man. He was really campaigning really hard. Like, I would love to make a Fantastic Four movie. Yeah. Would love it.
But they just constantly booed him.
Yeah, they booed him on stage at Comic-Con.
God, even after he showed like his band photo.
Yeah, even after.
Oh my God.
And then he walked off stage, silence, dead silence. It was brutal, and he didn't deserve that, because Ant-Man 1 was good. Ant-Man 2 is still pretty good, and Ant-Man 3. Is about to come out. That's going to be more Marvel-y, more bigger universe implications, because it's called Ant-Man Quantumania.
Yeah.
They're going crazy into the quantum realm. So I still hope there's comedy. I hope if they do go through multi-universes or whatever, bring Michael Pena along.
Yeah.
Like, before they didn't, it was just Michael Douglas and Paul Rudd, and they went, you didn't see Ant-Man 2, so I don't need to explain it. But thinking, it'd be cool if Michael Pena could go into the weird realms and whatever.
Yeah, I liked him, man. I wish he was in Endgame.
Yeah, he should have been in Endgame and Infinity War, or one of them. Oh, it would have been cool if he was like in the middle of telling a story and then he just dusts away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh no. And whoever was trying to get the information still didn't get whatever they were trying to they asked about. But yeah.
Any closing statements?
I don't know. I mean, I love Sam Raimi, and I don't know what what should I title this? Should I title it Evil Dead? Well, because in my last few podcasts, I don't know if you've seen the pictures of them. I'm going to say it out loud so the audience knows I think of things like this. It doesn't matter at all. But you can see in the last two videos, I've done like in my Better Call Saul podcast, I had like two pictures of Better Call Saul, and they were like together and like they're symmetrical. And then for my inside one, they were symmetrical. For this one, I'm going to put like the first Evil Dead poster next to Doctor Strange poster to show like the first and the last. I don't know. And I don't know what I would title it, though.
It's like the first and last of Sam Raimi's filmography.
Yeah, of his filmography. And I'll just put those next to each other. And I'll call it Sam Raimi's Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
That's actually a good idea, though.
Yeah.
Because I was talking about, the varieties of his work and Evil Dead and Spider-Man. What? Mm-hmm. You know what? That's a good idea. That's a good idea there, Casey. Well, I don't know what you want to say. You got anything else to say?
Thanks for giving me the time to be on here.
Yeah, anytime. We could do another one sometime. I don't know of what yet, but yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. You don't have any social media or anything, do you? You can plug whatever. I don't care. I don't plug myself because if they're listening, they're listening.
Actually, no, I don't have anything to plug.
Well, then, plug your butthole. That's it. The end. Goodbye.